The following is rated M for mature audiences, IM for immature audiences, PW for please watch, because everybody's doing it. Well, they should be. Let's go.
All right, the Dodgers are the class of the National League, but we've been talking all year about the weakness in their bullpen. And now the focus is squarely on one man, Kenley Jansen. Dodgers have such a large lead in the West. Dave Roberts has shifted how he uses the closer. Doesn't even have to be a save situation. They just want him to get the work in, stay fresh, find a rhythm. He's still looking because right now there is no rhythm. Jansen's been shaky the past couple of seasons. Last year he surrendered a career high in home runs. He's approaching that mark once again. And he's got the highest ERA of his career. But the Dodgers are putting their faith in the big man, so much so they didn't bother addressing their bullpen issue in the offseason or at the trade deadline. You know he's coming in when the stadium starts blasting California love. But will Southern California love what they see from him in the playoffs? Well, California knows how to party, and so do we. I promise he's been the life of the party in his day. Columnist at The Athletic, Vinny Bonsignor. And the party don't start till he walks in from the cruise show on Real. 92.3, it's Jeff G. Vinny, you're up first. Should the Dodgers still trust Kenley Jansen?
Wow. They have a month left in the season to get him right, and he needs to get right because if anything has plagued the Dodgers over these last few years in terms of denying them, a world championship, it always comes down to one thing, whether it was Clayton Kershaw or something, and I just have a fear that it's going to come down to Jansen not getting the job done when he needs to get the job done. It's not about the regular season. They're cruising right now. It's about Game 4 or Game 5 in the World Series where it could be him and not getting it done. So, yes, I'm worried.
I hate to say it, but I trust him about as much as birth control at the 99 cents only store.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man, but I just don't trust him. That's the problem. I think the trust is lost, and it's so weird to me because remember a couple years ago it was Pedro Baez. Every time we walked in, we worry about Pedro, right? And the roles have completely reversed, and when Kenley comes in, I just have this fear. There goes the long ball again, and I'm worried about it. Look at career high ERA. He's given up a ton of home runs again. I just don't have the trust in him, and I hate to say it, I'm a Dodger fan, and he's a great guy, but I'm sorry, man, I don't trust you.
And the other night, on Wednesday night, he gives up a home run and he is booed. Yeah. I could not, and it was unmerciful. They let him have it. I could not believe the fans in Los Angeles actually would boo Kenley Jansen, given everything he has done for this franchise.
I think it's out of fear because they see what could be happening and what could happen in a catastrophic situation in a playoff game or the World Series because invariably it's going to come down to him having to get the job done at some point. And if he can't do it, then we're talking about another missed opportunity for the Dodgers.
They want their voices heard because they don't want the Dodgers to be known as the Buffalo Bills of baseball.
Right.
And the fans are talking, and they want the manager to hear it and try to figure out a solution.
But you can't lose faith in him either. You have to take this month to get him right.
Well, so what do you do?
You have the time to play with.
At this point, do you start saying, all right, Kenley, you'll go 2 games, and then we'll have Joe Kelly try a game? Or we'll have Baez try a game. Do you start making preparation just in case you've got to go in a different direction?
You have to. And Dustin May's an interesting play, too. His stuff's electric. I'd love to see him. He looks like a closer, doesn't he?
Yeah, but too young. Doesn't have the experience.
Frankie Rodriguez.
Sometimes when you're young, you don't have no fear.
Came up and helped the Angels win the World Series.
Yeah.
Remember, like a 20-year-old kid out of the minors. So that can happen.
Well, the Dodgers might have an issue in the bullpen, but not at the plate. The Dodgers lead the National League in home runs and on base and slugging. Just so happens Cody Bellinger is at the top of those categories as well. Right there with him, Mike Trout. We've got 2 of the best players on the planet here in Southern California. One gets plenty of attention. The other quietly does his thing in the midst of a mediocre lineup in Anaheim. Mike Trout, Cody Bellinger, good chance both of them win the MVP this season. Jeff, if you got to pick one to start your team with, who is your man?
Easiest question you've ever asked me, Fred. It's Mike Trout. That's it. Simple. Mike Trout over everyone. You can give me any pitcher, you can give me any hitter, you can get anyone else in the world, and it's Mike Trout. Period. The guy, if he retired today, he has the numbers to go to Hall of Fame now.
Right.
And he's going to be the greatest Angel ever. He'll probably break the home run record if he stays healthy. Sad part is, like you said, he's playing for a mediocre team and he doesn't get the attention that he probably deserves.
I totally agree. When you look at his numbers, and he keeps getting better.
I know, it's
and
just
I think
crazy.
He's still going to get better. So he's the best player in baseball, has been for a long while. Nothing against Bellinger. He's having a fabulous year. He'll win the MVP. Yep. But if I'm talking about starting a team, give me Mike Trout.
It's fascinating. Mike Trout might be the quietest superstar in professional sports history.
Yeah.
I mean, he arguably is the best player in the entire game, and he can't get a sniff from anywhere.
Well, I mean, his integrity is what I love, too. I mean, the fact that he signed the contract with the Angels, no back and forth, no negotiations, anything like that. But I kind of like that. The fact that he's quiet is great because it shows kids that you don't have to be a loudmouth superstar to be good at what you do. And I kind of like that.
It's going to make it that much sweeter if the Angels can get this turned around while he's there for him to win a championship. Having stuck it out, it might be a Tony Gwynn situation. But at some point, you wonder, does that competitive itch get to him and say, hey, you know what? I deserve it. I want a chance to go play for a team that can win the World Series.
Well, they've got a long time to get that turned around there with that deal he signed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cody Bellinger's been good for a while, but this season he's been incredible. How much better can Cody Bellinger get?
I think he could get considerably better. I mean, he had a bad year last year, or for him, an off year. And you saw the improvements that he's made from last year to this year. So if he can make another leap like that, then his needle's still pointing up.
I agree. Sky's the limit with him. I mean, he showed that he has the desire to improve, and I love that. So as long as he continues to work, he'll continue to get better.
Cody Bellinger, though, and let's be realistic, because we know the market is populated by Dodger fans. It's one of the legacy brands. I don't think Cody Bellinger will be a great player. I don't think he'll ever be Mike Trout.
Well, I mean, Mike Trout's a once-in-a-generation, Fred.
He's a Babe Ruth, Willie Mays kind of a guy. And he really is.
He really is.
Well, Trout and Bellinger put on a show, and so do these guys. Nobody louder or more rowdy than these fans. You've got to see it and hear it to believe it. For those of you that didn't have the privilege of watching the Dodgers in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, you missed out on a national treasure. Tommy Lasorda was a fiery, no-holds-barred enigma of a manager, and he holds the distinction of being the first skipper to have a mascot ejected from a game.
Respect. Quand j'ai déclaré le retrait, c'est que je voyais le droit de l'officiel.
Well, it happened 30 years ago this weekend. With tensions high in Montreal, Lasorda howled as Expos mascot Youppi stomped on the roof of the metal dugout. Perhaps you've never heard of Youppi. Perhaps you've never ever seen the Expos play. But it's worth watching the moment Lasorda took out his temper on a mascot as we open up the vault.
Time is called. They want Youppi off the Dodger dugout. He's bugging the Dodger players, and Tom Lasorda is out. And third base umpire Bob Davidson is throwing Youppi out of the ball game. He wants him off the Dodger dugout. Tommy Lasorda has put up a complaint. This will draw the ire of the fans. And they want Buck Rogers out to get Youppi out of there. Buck is sitting down. Here comes Davidson running over, and Buck's going to make Davidson come over and say, what do you, or no, they're calling somebody from security over.
They're going to call security and remove him from the ballpark.
Wow. We've seen it all now, huh? Youppi's been thrown out of the game, off the Dodgers dugout. Well, Bob Davidson is really hearing it. This is a first. Youppi's been thrown out of the ball game. Youppi has thrown his pillow. He had a nightgown on. He's thrown his pillow. He's thrown his nightcap. And Youppi's been thrown out of the ball game.
Youppi had a pillow and wore a nightgown because it was the 11th inning and he was getting tired. He was lucky to get sent home. The game went 21 scoreless innings before Rick Dempsey hit a solo homer in the 22nd. By that point, Youppi had been asleep for hours. Word to the wise, do not sleep on tonight's local legend. That young man grew up in Santa Monica, became a star pitcher at Harvard Westlake and Studio City. Fastball hitting the high 90s as a sophomore. Wound up needing Tommy John surgery, but he was so good, he still went in the first round of the draft. That is Lucas Giolito. The White Sox ace was untouchable Wednesday, made one of baseball's best lineups look foolish. The Twins were swinging and missing all afternoon. The All-Star struck out 12 in a complete game shutout. Second shutout of his career. 14th win of the season, proving his worth as one of the best in the game. From Harvard Westlake to White Sox superstar, Lucas Giolito is this week's local legend. We know athletes are always trying to get bigger, faster, stronger, always trying to improve their performance. I'm sorry, did somebody say performance? Yes, it seems a few baseball players are using performance enhancers of a different kind. Major League Baseball sent a letter to all the players this week, warning of the dangers of sexual enhancement pills, but not those performance enhancers with weird ads on TV. We're talking about the over-the-counter variety, the kind you see at the gas station with shady packaging and promises of longer-lasting pleasure. When they're at the plate, they're trying to get good wood on the slider, but this is ridiculous. 2 players that have been suspended for PEDs this season claimed male enhancement products were to blame. MLB said, and I am paraphrasing here, if you have erectile dysfunction, talk to a doctor. Somehow I'm guessing that's not the issue here. They're probably looking for an extra boost. If you're a pro athlete and you're hitting up the convenience store or the sex shop for Extends or Rhino Bighorn or Triple Power Zen, take a moment and think about what you're putting in your body. I mean, really, you got to be better than that. Did you hear the name of LA's new football team? They got to have something better than that. All right, time now for your favorite portion of the show. You look forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
It's the mystery person. You tell us which Southern California sports figure we're talking about. Who is ready?
I'm ready.
This is like the SATs all over again, man. Pressure.
I got to tell you, I think you're going to nail this one.
Okay.
I think you're going to nail this one. Here's clue number 1. I was born in Detroit. Easy. And it's not me, because I was born in Detroit.
Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson. No.
Eminem.
Eminem. Nice try. All right, here's the picture.
Oh, my gosh.
Anything? No.
No.
Next. Drive a Ford Fusion.
Detroit.
Oh, wow.
Ford Fusion.
Born in Detroit.
Right.
Ford Fusion. Nothing?
Nothing.
Blank.
Picture.
What?
Easier?
That's not a picture.
Yeah, no, it's better. Next. Okay, this is it. I got my degree in math and economics.
Detroit.
Okay.
Ford Fusion. Degree in math and economics.
You would think if you have a degree in math and economics, you'd probably be driving something better than a Ford Fusion, so I'm really confused.
Andrew Friedman.
Andrew Friedman. Not born in Detroit.
I have no clue.
No clue?
I'm sorry.
Check it out. I don't really know if we've altered the picture that much, to be honest.
I know.
After looking at
A
it.
little bit of help here, guys.
Consider joining the Kings before signing out with the Clippers.
Wait. Come on.
Born in Detroit.
Yeah.
Math and economics. Ford Fusion. Thought about the Kings.
It's not Kawhi. Is it Kawhi?
Kawhi Leonard. No.
Of course not.
Check the picture. Have we altered that picture at all?
It looks like how I feel sometimes on a Saturday
It's not
night.
Paul George, right?
Paul George.
Yeah.
He wasn't born in Detroit.
I was going to say, he's Palmdale guy.
The Sacramento
Here we go.
Kings.
Developers.
Come on.
Is that Steve Ballmer all blurry?
Is that Steve Ballmer? It is Steve Ballmer.
Yes!
There you go.
Yeah.
I've
that's
never
right.
won that. Thank you.
There you go.
Congrats.
Just like me, born in Detroit, he's always driven a Fords because his dad was a manager at the company. Graduated
okay, I get
magna
it.
cum laude
Good
from
player.
Harvard. He was also the football team manager. Tried to buy the Kings before the Clippers, and of course,
Developers.
Developers. My man. Look at him sweat.
Developers. Yes!
yeah, never let him see you sweat.
Wow.
I love
Unless
that
you
guy.
got $5 billion.
Yeah, and then
you can
it's all
sweat.
good.
You can do whatever you want.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you've ever met him in person,
Yeah.
you guys,
I have.
he is one of the great people
Yeah.
you will ever meet. And really, for someone with that much money and that much success, one of the most down-to-earth
Yeah.
people you
He's
will ever
genuine.
meet.
No
I'd love
question
to
about
meet
it.
him.
Yeah, he is a great guy. Melvin Gordon wants more money from the Chargers, but he doesn't have any leverage. His holdout continues. No progress in the talks for the team. As a matter of fact, haven't been any talks. Gordon's waiting for the call, but said he's expecting to miss regular season games. Now, he wants between $13 and $15 million a year. The team is offering 10. He's currently getting 5.6. The regular season begins in 2 weeks. Vinny, you're all over the NFL. Melvin Gordon, all-pro running back. Is he misplaying his hand?
He is misplaying his hand. This is a tricky time for running backs in the NFL, both how they view the position and how they value the position. He's looking at a nice pay raise, to $10 million, $11 million from the $5 million he's making right now. He's a good back. He's not a great back. He's not Zeke. He's not Todd Gurley. So he needs to rearrange his thinking pattern here, or listen to some smarter people, or the people that really understand the situation, and he needs to come in because he's not getting a call because the offer's on the table and the Chargers aren't going to budge from that offer.
Yeah, I hate to break the news. Like he said, you're not Zeke, you're not Le'Veon Bell, you haven't won the Super Bowl, you were actually hurt for a good portion of the beginning of your career. Dude, take the money and run.
Right.
Listen, NFL, people wait for people to get injured, they step in, and the poor injured guy is out of a job. He has to understand that he's really jeopardizing his career here, and it could put him in a place that he may not come back from.
Right, he's probably looking at about $35-40 million guaranteed off of this offer. That's a lot more than he's going to stand to make over the next 4 years if he just plays this thing out, and probably more than he would get on the open market as well. So you got to come to your senses.
Yeah, but here's the problem. His agent was the one that came out last week and said, yeah, they offered $10 million, we want more. So the problem now is you've drawn a line in the sand.
Yeah.
You basically put everybody on blast. It's got to be more than this. And the Chargers aren't going to budge.
And in a way where people are like, $10 million is a lot of money for that position and for your caliber of that position. So he let the cat out of the bag in terms of what you're turning down, and people are saying, you need to take that offer.
When it comes to running backs, NFL stands not for long.
Right?
So be smart, buddy. Get the money while you can. Get the bag.
As you look at the situation as it continues to unfold, how do you think this thing plays out?
I think he's got his feet in the sand pretty well here. It seems like this is headed toward a dangerous area where he's going to miss real games and real paychecks, by the way, because you don't start getting docked paychecks until the regular season. So he's in position to lose some money, and for what?
Chargers are not going to budge.
Right.
They know that Phillip Rivers is at the end of his days, and they're going to have to save some money the next few years for that. So take the offer, man.
All right, now time for you guys to carry the rock and take this to the house.
5 questions, 2 minutes. It's time for rapid fire.
Rams kick off the regular season 2 weeks from now in Carolina. Everybody wants to know about Todd Gurley. We'll put 2 minutes on the clock. Vinny, you see him practice. How's he look?
He looks explosive, athletic, dynamic, but it's only August. The Rams need him to look like that in December and January. They have a plan in place that they hope gets him through that, and so that he's in optimal condition at that time of year. But we're going to have to wait and see. He looks great right now. It doesn't matter what he looks like right now. It matters what he looks like in October, November, December.
Listen, you're sharing a room with him during preseason, so I trust whatever you say, Vinny.
LA's XFL team will be known as the Wildcats. There's the logo. Jeff, what do you think of that?
Wah, wah, wah. Come on, there's so many cultural opportunities here in this city. I've never seen a Wildcat. Have you ever seen a Wildcat?
I have not.
Okay, so that's my point.
I was hoping Conquistadores or
Conquistadores would be
something
great.
like that. Something that kind of fits what we do here, the Wildcats. I mean, every high school is the Wildcats.
Exactly, because it's a boring generic name.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think the franchise had anything to do with it. I think the XFL, the league office, said you are this, you are that. And it kind of looks like they're creating names that kids would use in a video game.
Exactly.
True. For the entire league. Yeah. UCLA football season starts Thursday. USC kicks off Saturday. Either one of you care?
I'm going to be honest, no. Because the college football season has been Clemson and Alabama for the last how many years. So basically it's turned into a tailgate function and a party for all the alumni. And that's all that really matters with UCLA and USC. Neither of them are in the top 25, so it's like, eh.
I'm vaguely interested in what Skip Kelly is going to have in store for his second year at UCLA. You figure that he's going to get that thing pointed in the right direction. And of course, USC is USC. It's whether it's a train wreck or, a 10-1 season, they're going to be somewhat interesting one way or another. So yeah, I'm interested to see what that offense looks like with the new offensive coordinator, what the young quarterback looks like. But from a national perspective, I don't think any of them are.
Neither are going to be in the playoffs, so it's like,
Magic Johnson still living on the life of his European yacht vacation.
Yeah, he is.
Look at this picture. Magic Johnson wearing a Jordan shirt. We okay with that?
Yeah, of course. He's Magic Johnson. He can wear whatever he wants.
No. I'm not good with that at all. Michael Jordan was his, Larry Bird was his arch enemy, but Michael Jordan was one of his enemies. I mean, he took the mantle from him. So no, I'm not good with
If it was a big baller brand shirt, Fred, then we'd have beef.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Then we have an issue. All right, men, well done.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Fred.
If you haven't been to an LAFC game, you don't know what you're missing. That's why we're here. We're taking you on a trip inside Bank of California Stadium. Mario Solis embedded with a 3252 to show us the wildest fan experience in Los Angeles.
Their statement is loud and unforgettable. a joyous expression of their love for the game of football and their club, LAFC. They are the 3252, the supporter group name that coincides with the number of seats on the north end of the stadium. Always packed, always fervent.
This is only their second season in MLS, so it's amazing how much passion they've generated in so little time.
We knew what LAC was to us before LAC was here, because the owners promised us a people's team. We have a people's team.
It was a grassroots effort before the club even existed, a joint creative effort.
Early in the days, we had our supporters getting together with our architects and co-creating this design and this stadium together, telling them what they wanted out of their future club.
They wanted proximity to the game and players, safe standing bleachers, and the ability to root freely like some of the top soccer teams around the world.
What you see is what we asked for. So it came from the heart, from the street, so it's authentic.
The supporter section was fashioned after the famous Yellow Wall in the German League. LAFC and founding members of the 3252 traveled to Dortmund to live it and learn from its members firsthand. The end result has been amazing.
And this basically never stops. 90 minutes of chanting, singing, cheering, and pure pandemonium. Los Angeles!
The basic rule, if you want to be part of the 3252 section, be loud and be active.
It's not a place if you just want to sit down and relax and watch the game and be on your phone. Dodger Stadium's that way.
Oh yeah, you're watching Going Roggin.
Remember, you can always be part of the conversation. Email us at goingroggin@nbcuni.com or hit me up on Facebook or Twitter, Fred NBCLA on both. We'll see you next time, and keep this in mind. Wherever you go, keep going Roggin.